we are continually evolving the EGM for our customers. Customers' needs, may also to keep up with current technology, which is always moving very, very quickly. One of the latest things that we've introduced is the compatibility with the 4G networks. This is a great boost for our, and very interesting for our clients around the world, especially around the world. Okay, EGM was created in order to be completely independent of other firmwares and so on, so that we could master and look after our own development environment and so on. It was developed in order that we can communicate with our boards, our circuit boards, such as these particular circuit boards here. We have the small and the full range of circuit boards. They have similar architectures, such that an EGM application running on this board, for example, a 341, which is a GenLoc with the GPS module, will also run on the larger module. Okay, it has exactly the same CPU, RAM, and so on characteristics. Okay, we have chosen it runs with an OS, an operating system called ECOS, ECOS, and this is a very quick startup OS, which is very interesting, especially for autonomous applications, which are battery-based in vehicles or remote situations. This is quite an interesting thing and very important for us. We have modes which allow low power to be consumed, such that the battery life can be extended for quite some period. So we have quick startup time and low power consumption at the same time, which is very important. When I say quick startup time for the OS, it's about in less than 1 second we are communicating with the serial port, whilst the rest of the system is being initialized. Okay.
You want me to go on the next slide?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Yeah. Excuse me, if you just come back to the previous slide, Ludwig. So the complete environment is developed in C, development language. We use the Eclipse development environment. It's really a big editor, but it enables to navigate through the code source very, very easily. This is all free and may be downloaded easily. There you can have many types of Eclipse on your machine locally, and this only requires that you include the CDT, the C development tools package from Eclipse, in order to be able to develop completely with C in the Eclipse environment. Yes, if you'd like to go to the next slide, please, Ludo. So we have, as I said, we have a startup in a few seconds, less than a few seconds, in fact. The OS that we use includes the complete TCP IP stack, which is TCP, UDP, FTP, SMTP, etc. So all these are included. The size of your code created, which will be in fact one complete binary file, since we don't have a running OS like Linux or Windows, for example. It's all linked together with the ECOS library and the EGM library, okay, which is pre-built. And the total size of this code may be up to 768 kilobytes, which is the compressed size of the code. In fact, your application may be up to 1 megabytes, which is very, very large. I have great difficulty to exceed about 600 kilobytes of total code, which includes the EGM, the OS, and the application. We have on the board 8 megabytes of SD RAM. The application is run in the SD RAM, so it's very quick. and we have 1.8 megabytes of serial flash, which is available for your data storage and parameters and so on. Okay, we will use a term. We have a term called DOTA, D-O-T-A, which is data over the air. This is useful for upgrading your applications remotely, and we have slots available in the flash to accommodate this. The next slide, please.
I'm not sure you're there. Just tell me and I will go.
Okay. So this slide, what we can do with the EGM is quite interesting. On the left, this is a separate case, in fact. This is an environment which is not running EGM, okay? It's really using the processor as a bit pipe in order to communicate with the GSM module and the GPS or the GNSS module.
So you have no intelligence in this mode?
No, there's no intelligence there. It's really just a pipe. The two interesting cases are on the right, the standalone mode and the cooperative mode. In the first case, we'll take the cooperative mode first of all. As you can see, it has a serial connection in order to be able to configure the application, perhaps via the RS-232 interface, and also perhaps to communicate with external equipment, industrial equipment. The middle case, which is the standalone mode, may be used in remote applications, vehicle or remote applications, in which case the application is completely configured, and now it may run on its own, literally. Okay, so it may be battery powered and so on.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Okay, so we have this diagram indicates how the environment, the EGM and the OS sits together. We have in the lower part of the diagram the Ecos library, the OS, which includes all the stack, the drivers for the hardware, which includes the serial SPI interfaces and also I2C interfaces, which is not quite indicated there. It manages all the interrupts and exceptions and vectorization of the software. The stack, there's a kernel, obviously with the OS. It's a preemptive multitasking OS. And obviously the C library. And sitting above that, so the EGM library, which is what we have developed to interface with all that, we have various what we call services, the FCM, GPS, and timers, etc. The FCM is interesting. It's a flow control manager, which allows you to interface directly with the application via a serial port, but in data mode. So if you're streaming data, you can use this mode here. We also have memory, flash management, the GPS management, etc. Everything else which manages the interface with the GSM module. Okay, SMS, etc.
Do I have to go further?
Okay. So what we see here is if you have used Eclipse before, so this may be fairly familiar to you. It's basically the environment that we create is very simple, and all the projects that we create are similar, shall we say. We have the EGM library, which is libgener. We have also the Ecos pre-built library as well, libecos, and then your application is next to it. I think it's a client application, client appli, and then everything else is controlled. So the build is controlled by a makefile, a very simple makefile, and which is preset for you, which you may adjust as you wish. But this environment is very simple to use. So many different versions of Eclipse may be used, or different the latest release, and you can integrate your workspace into it quite easily.
Okay, thanks. And what is if we want to do a project with EGM, what will be the organization and the different steps?
Well, you would start off with a typical. We would supply a typical application, okay, a very basic application, which is what you have just seen on the previous screen, okay, and then you would take that and keep the Ecos library and the EGM library, and adjust your source code accordingly. So you can add as many modules as you like and just update the make file. And it uses make to build and the GCC compiler to compile everything.
So, and to learn to do that, I have to do a training, and then you will support me, or?
Yes, we supply a training course, which is usually over 2 days. 2 days is usually enough, which includes a morning of getting to know EGM. I go through a number of slides, and we will start looking at basic source code and the different services provided by the EGM. And then the rest of the first day will be we're organized around the installation of the environment and testing of a simple application. We're also looking at debugging as well via a JTAG. This is possible. And the following day, we will be looking at more practical work as well, and also perhaps your particular needs for your application. We can adapt very quickly the simple project to your needs, perhaps. One of the advantages of EGM is that it's very quick in order to get a basic application up and running, and to adapt it as required to your needs.
Okay, and so when I have completed the training, I will be alone, or can I call someone, and can I have some support then to develop?
One of the advantages of doing the training is that you will have access to me almost directly, usually by email and question and answer. But in extreme cases, if you have a problem with your software, then I will look at it. I'll be prepared to look at it and try and analyze it and test it and see where the problem is.
Okay. And if I have a use case that I don't know how to do it, can you help me also to build technical specifications to know if it's possible to do it with the EGM also?
Well, if it is possible to do it with the EGM, that has to be decided first of all. We have to look at your needs, your requirements, to see if it well fit into the EGM environment, and that the resources that we supply are adequate. Okay, and then after we can perform an elaboration of the specification and so on, so that we can go through to the development stage. Okay.
Okay, I'll ask some questions, but maybe some of the people here have other questions. So we may have like 5 minutes to discuss or to answer your question. So don't hesitate to activate your microphone and to ask the question, or to just write it in the conversation tab. If you don't have, I can imagine some. Mark, with your experience, what is the planning for developing a complete application? Is it like 2 days, 3 weeks, or several months? How do you see that?
Well, we have a number of example applications, and EGM is supplied with a number of very simple. In fact, EGM comes with a complete application, albeit a simple application, which allows you to establish a TCP connection and to send and receive data, okay, via the GPRS network. Perhaps this may be enough, and then you just need to add your particular type of data. But in a much more complicated case, then we have to identify your needs and establish a technical specification, so that we can assure that the feasibility of the project is going forward. Okay.
Okay. I have another question if you want, but if someone wants to speak, be free. Yeah, you have seen, I think, a lot of projects from different customers, and without saying anything confidential, can you just illustrate with some examples of applications you have seen?
Yes, we have a lot of, shall I say, 5, 6 years ago, probably 10 years ago, GPS and geolocalization was coming into the, becoming much more important. And this was a particularly interesting area for us because we were developing our products with GPS on board. So that we were doing making geolocalization products for vehicle tracking, lorry fleet tracking, etc. For ambulances, ambulance networks, and so on. This was very interesting. We also have remote applications which could be monitoring weather stations and supplying. So this is very very remote. Could be running off a battery or a solar charged battery in a remote part of the country, and this would receive weather information via the serial network and then upload it to a remote server. Obviously, it's not going to be operating full time, but we'll wake up as required, as and when required, and then transmit the data. We have other applications which look after irrigation, automatic irrigation in various parts of the world as well, for the big pivots and ramps which are used for irrigating large areas of agriculture.
Okay, and so for the wine that is all around the Saumur, you have some applications that you have developed for keeping the wine at the temperature and to help the vineyards to grow on with the weather station?
We have, I think we have some applications which are monitoring the weather, yes, temperature and I think humidity, and they keep an eye on the level of that to ensure that the vines are not frozen, for example, and to send out an alert, an SMS alert, for example. Yes. Okay,
thanks. So if there is no question, I will go on the presentation. I don't know if someone wants. Okay. Okay, so I will just go on, and we will keep the timing. Yep. So just to conclude, so thank you very much, Marc, for the presentation. I think that was very clear and very a global overview. That was very interesting. And if you want, and if some customers want to use the EGM, so you can go further. Just as Marc has presented, you have a 2 days training. So the next one will take place the 21st and 22nd of July. We don't know yet if it will be physical in Angers or in Paris or remote, but we think we'll do a combination of that. So we will precise you this organization, and it will also depend on who will be interested in the training. So the training comes with a complete development kit that includes GenPro or GenLoc product, depending of your use case and what you want to develop. With also all the accessories to be able to develop, to connect to the GenLoc with the antenna, to be able to send information, the alimentation, and all the package, the software package also. All the development of your environment will be given through the SDK. So you can just go on the training, and we will send you a mallet that is as it is shown on the upper right, and so you will be able to go very quickly on the application and to go very quickly on your need, because as Marc has told you, during the training you will start your project. You will not only just listen to Marc, it's still interesting, but you will also start your project and build the first functionalities of your project. So
this is very important, so that you'll finish the training with your complete environment installed and a working environment with a simple application and perhaps the beginnings of your application as well. This is very interesting.
Yeah. So today it will be Mark who will do the training. So thank you, Mark. And if you want to discuss with Mark about wine, about GitHub, and about EGM, you can just ask us to be part of this training. So thank you, everyone. I don't know, Mark, if you want to add something or no.
I think, well, I would like to hear your questions. That would be very, very interesting to have some feedback from you. Thank you.
But yeah, maybe we will go through and ask the question and ask the people after the meeting, because we have to keep it in 30 minutes. So we have 1 minute left. So I propose you that you can send me or Mark or the commercial that is in charge of your area to send you the question you can have to them, and then we will organize the meetings. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day, and see you soon during the training. Thanks,
Thank you very much. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.